Are you wondering what things to avoid in parenting, or do you have some things that you regret? If so, you're not alone. I also have some things that I regret doing, and in this video I'm sharing 9 things that I would do differently now if I could go back in time. Hopefully after watching this video you can consider making some changes, or you can avoid these things altogether. If you're new to this channel, hi there, I'm Vilma, I'm a mother of 2, and I'm here to tell you my honest point of view on all things parenting. So before we start, I just want to say that I would not change my parenting journey, even though there are things that I regret doing. I love my children and I have done my best with them starting from pregnancy, and as much as parenting is about watching our kids grow and learn new things, we also grow enormously as parents and as people. So yeah, I wouldn't change the journey itself. You live and you learn. But if I had the knowledge that I now have, here are the things that I would change. So the first and the biggest regret that we have is not holding our ground at our hospital birth. I cannot wait to share my birth stories with you. I've had 2 unmedicated births, except for the afterbirth interventions that I'm soon mentioning. And yeah, they have been just an amazing experience overall. So I really want to share those with you guys as well. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna say that our first one was almost born in a car on the way to hospital. So we were at the hospital for about 10 minutes before she was born. And because everything happened so quickly, like the midwives couldn't believe that I'm actually gonna give birth like right now. We didn't understand what was going on. It was our first time, in that situation, first time for me to give birth. And I think the midwives just went on autopilot because it was a bit of a hassle, I guess. So they just did what they have always been told. And my biggest disappointment came when we were under the assumption that whatever is being done to either me or the baby, the staff would at least let us know, like, hey, we're now gonna do this. We're now gonna give you the oxytocin to, speed up the placenta being born and things like that. I would have declined the oxytocin. I would have wanted to wait for the placenta to be born at its own pace, because there was no emergency with that. Everything was fine. I also wanted to have proper delayed cord clamping. I'm not talking about 2 minutes. I'm talking about the placenta giving, all that it can give back to the baby, and so many other things that were just overlooked at the hospital. We had written down wishes of things that we wanted to be done and what we didn't want to be done, and we had done a lot of research, and these were really informed decisions that we had made. So my advice to you is to really be informed about the things that are going on in hospitals and making your own, decision. If you want to go with them or not, you always have a chance to decide. It's your body and it's your baby, and you are responsible of the things that happen to them. So be informed. Another thing that you can consider is to hire a doula who is going to be there to look after you. So you and your birth partner can just focus on the birth itself, but the doula is going to be there to check that at least you are given a chance to, have a say and understand what's being done at the hospital. So like I said, that really is our biggest regret, and that's why it took the longest time to explain as well. I promise the other ones will be shorter. So the second regret that I have is starting solids too soon with our first one. As you can see, she's been a bit of a practice piece for us. We started solids with her the day she turned 4 months, because we were just really excited to, start that new phase with her. And also that was something that was pushed by the pediatrician. But with our second child, we waited until 6 months before we started solids. And this just gives your baby's system more time to develop and be more ready to digest these new, food items that go into the body. And if your baby is born at full term, at a normal weight, and they're growing in a normal steady pace, breast milk is really the only thing that your child needs. I know it's so exciting to start solids, but there's really no rush. The third regret that I have is doing sleep training for the wrong reasons. Now, I have a separate video coming on sleep training, but my toddler just walked in, so just a second. I have a separate video coming up on my thoughts on sleep training, so if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when that video is out. But I and my husband, we were both kind of bombarded with these ideas that you need to get your child sleeping independently as soon as possible, because it gets harder by the month, and if they always snap in their father's loving arms, they will become clingy and just like they will never learn to sleep by themselves, and none of those things are true. So we started sleep training our child, and she did become a very good independent sleeper by the time she was 1 year and 3 months. So I don't regret that, but I do regret the motivation behind it. With our second child, we were a lot more relaxed in co-sleeping. We didn't feel the need to change anything before he started, just hanging onto my boob the whole night and, scratching my chest, scratching my face, like tickling my armpits, and it was impossible for me to get any sleep. So that's when we had to make new arrangements. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. The fourth regret that I have is exposure to toxins. And I hate to break it down to you, but unfortunately, we are surrounded by toxins everywhere. They are in our air, they are in our soil, they are in our water, they are in our food, they are in our clothes, cosmetics, cleaning products, everywhere. But still, there are minor changes that you can make that can really make a big difference. And I wish that we would have started making those small changes earlier. So you can try and buy pesticide-free food, and although you might think, organic is always clean, it's unfortunately not. They spray a lot of really nasty stuff in organic food as well after harvest. Another really important one is to filter your water, obviously your drinking water, but also your shower water. You can try and switch from single-use diapers that are packed with chemicals to cloth diapers that are a lot healthier for your kid's skin, and so on. But there are small changes that you can start making. Maybe I should make a video about this as well, I don't know. But I really wish that we would have, educated ourselves a bit more already in the beginning, and then we would have been able to avoid these things more efficiently. Okay, the fifth regret that I have is talking in third person about myself and about my child. This is so common, like it happens all around me at least, but it's so odd. Like we don't talk like that in real life, with other adults, for instance, and it just models a really strange way of talking. There's other ways when your child learns your name and their own name. You don't have to be talking in third person, for them to learn it, and it's really hard to stop once you have done it for a long time. Like I'm still trying. I'm more conscious about it. I do that less, but it's really, really hard because it's a habit that has stuck to me at least like almost for 3 years. So I'm really trying to break that cycle now. And also you're putting up a show for your kid. Like you're talking to them in a different way that you would normally talk. So this can be quite, tiring as well. And more about this performance stuff in regret number 9. The sixth regret seems to be a bit of an evergreen one, and that is giving screens to our kids too early. So our first one started looking stuff from screens, I think, when she was around 1. Wasn't by us parents in the first times, by the way, but somebody slipped a screen to our child, and they were like, oh yeah, she really likes it. I'm like, well, no wonder. But anyhow, we have been watching kids shows mostly from a projector, so we much prefer that. And if they listen to a song, we don't let them watch, so they can only listen. But anyhow, kids don't need screens. adults need kids to look at the screen because adults need to have a break, and that is totally valid. I get it, we all need breaks, but I wish that we would have had other ways to get some downtime rather than resorting to the screen time. However, it's not all bad. My child has learned a lot of new vocabulary with it in a foreign language as well, you know, some fun games and things like that. So it's not all bad. I have a separate video coming on screen time, so stay tuned for that. But I still wish that we would have started screens later. The 7th regret that I have relates to our discipline strategies. So I wish that we would have done less yelling and less timeouts and found other ways earlier that we would have done with our children. So I regret not taking the time to, first of all, regulate myself before I interact with my child. I'm a lot better with that now. The second thing is that we were also recommended timeouts, and if you look at like nanny, what's it called, super nanny, they had a lot of timeouts there too. Like that's what a lot of us have been kind of programmed into, that would be the healthiest way to deal with, you know, behavior that is unacceptable. But I wish that we wouldn't have had those isolation moments that much, and we would have rather just calmed everyone down, and then we could have, you know, connect with our child. I don't think that you can like just be reasoning with your 2-year-old for like on and on and on, but I still think that the isolation tactic might not be the best one. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts about the power dynamic in the parent-child relationship, I made a separate video about that, so make sure to check that one after watching this video. The second last regret that I'm sharing is solving too many problems for my kids. So I wish that I would have let them be a bit more frustrated with the task and show them that frustration and even anger are normal feelings that occur, and we can find healthy ways to deal with those feelings, and then also give them the satisfaction of solving a task by themselves. Maybe it's not on the same day or at that go, but somewhere down the line they will be able to do that by themselves, and they will be so proud and happy that they were given the gift of resolving the problem by themselves. The 9th and the last regret that I have is to perform for my kids. This is something that I referred to already when talking about talking in third person, but I feel that I've been too much of an entertainment to my children. I should have just, you know, let them get bored and, you know, find things to do, because we do have, you know, a bunch of great toys that they can play with, or they don't even need toys. Kids are super creative. They don't need a constant show. So I wish that I would have had this mind frame earlier, that I don't need to play a character for them. I can just be my authentic self. I think it's so much, just better, authentic, real for them to see how I am, how I talk, show them and tell them like if I'm tired, instead of, you know, making these super exaggerated gestures or something like that. I'm not super theatrical. Like, I know people who are a lot more, you know, out there than I am, but still, performing is super exhausting, and, you know, at the end of the day you're just like, whew, I can finally like let go of that show for the night. So yeah, you don't have to perform to your kids. If you recognize that you're doing some of these things, now is a chance to evaluate if you still want to keep doing those things. And remember, it's never too late to change behavior. And also remember that changing habits is really hard. It takes practice and it takes time. So you don't have to change everything at once, and it's not gonna happen overnight. So cut yourself some slack. I hope you enjoyed hearing that other people make mistakes too. And like I said in the beginning, I love my children, and I have really tried my best to make the best decisions for them together with my husband, but there's still some things that I regret doing. Please share your regrets in the comments. I would love to learn more about the things that people regret doing with their children. There's probably something that I'm currently doing and I could just say, wow, yeah, I really should stop doing that as well. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm to push this content to people who might be interested in it as well. And if you know a fellow parent who might enjoy watching my content, please share my stuff with them as well. Last thing, if you enjoy parenting humor, make sure to check my YouTube shorts. I try to upload a short every day, kids permitting, and I think they're pretty funny. So check those out. Thank you so much for being with me in this video, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye!